The story begins with a man named Nick. He has a suitcase in his hand and is going somewhere, but he looks scared as if someone is following him. Nick enters a hotel where a room is booked under the name broker. He goes into the room. After some time, food is delivered for him, but Nick does not eat it. Instead, he starts cleaning the things he has touched. It feels like something bad has happened here, as if there has been a murder and Nick might be the killer. Nick writes something on a piece of paper. Then he opens the window of the room and climbs outside. He is on the 32nd floor of the building. Nick tries to move forward on the thin ledge outside the window, but when he looks down, he becomes very scared. Meanwhile, people on the street notice Nick standing high above the building. They start shouting at him, asking him to stop. An old lady sees him and quickly calls the police, saying that a man is about to commit suicide. Soon a crowd begins gathering below the building. The scene then shifts to some time earlier. Nick is in prison. During that time, he gets into a fight with another inmate, but the police officers quickly separate them. After some time, Nick's lawyer comes to meet him. She tells him that he must control his behavior because the court could sentence him to 25 years in prison. She warns him that one more mistake could ruin his entire life. After the lawyer leaves, a man named Mike comes to meet Nick. Nick used to be a police officer, and Mike is his old friend. Mike tells him that Nick's father is very sick and that his younger brother Joey is taking care of him. A few days later, an officer comes to Nick and informs him that his father has died that morning. Hearing this news completely breaks Nick. Now he has to attend his father's funeral, so he tries to control himself and stay strong. Now Nick reaches the funeral. His younger brother Joey and Joey's girlfriend are already there. After the funeral, Joey comes to Nick and says that everything that happened is because of him. Nick replies that if he had been free, he would have taken proper care of their father. This leads to an argument between the two brothers, and a police officer steps in to separate them. During this moment, Mike takes advantage of the situation. He pulls out the officer's gun and points it at them, then unlocks Nick's handcuffs. Before leaving, Nick apologizes. After that, he steals a police car and drives away. Soon the police begin chasing him. Nick realizes he might get caught, but then he sees a train approaching. He tries to cross the railway tracks before it arrives, but the train crashes into his car, throwing it far away. The people standing nearby believe he must have died in the accident. But when they go to check, Nick has already escaped. Seeing this, Joey tells Mike that now he has the chance to kill his brother. Meanwhile, Nick runs to a secret place where he has hidden his belongings. There he takes some money and a few ID cards. He also sees a photo of his family, which makes him emotional. From here, the story returns to the present time. Nick is still standing on that narrow ledge outside the building. The crowd below has grown larger, and the police have also arrived. An officer named Jack comes up to the floor and tries to talk to Nick. Just then, Jack's senior officer comes to him and tells him to ask Nick what he wants. Jack goes closer and speaks to Nick. Nick says that he only wants to talk to a lady officer named Alana. Jack goes back and informs his senior about Nick's request. Meanwhile, they also find a note Nick had written earlier, but it doesn't really help them understand anything. At this point, they still don't know who Nick actually is, because he booked the room under a fake name. To them, he still appears to be just an ordinary man. Soon Alana is called to the scene. She approaches Nick and asks him what he wants to talk about. Nick tells her that a few days ago he saw on TV that a man was trying to commit suicide. The police had sent someone to talk to him, but the man still ended up jumping. Nick says that before he dies, he wants to speak with the same officer who tried to help that man. Alana is shocked by his answer. At the same time, other officers inform Alana that they couldn't find any fingerprints inside the room, which means they have no way of identifying the man. Now it becomes clear why Nick had carefully cleaned everything he touched earlier. This situation makes Ilana very uneasy because it's strange that someone stayed in a room and left absolutely no trace behind. Now in the same building, we see a businessman named David who is angrily shouting at his staff because he has suffered a huge loss in his business. On the other side, Ilana is still talking to Nick and offers him a cigarette, but Nick refuses to take it. At the same time, Nick is secretly talking to Joey on the phone and asks him to come to that building. Joey arrives there with Angie, who is his girlfriend. The two of them enter the building where David's jewelry showroom is located. Meanwhile, Mike is still trying to find Nick. During this time, Nick continues speaking with Joey. Joey tells him that he has placed explosives on the terrace, and now he is waiting for Nick's signal. Once Nick gives the signal, they will create a small explosion on the terrace, which will break the ceiling and allow them to go inside. Back outside, Nick suddenly tells Alana that he is about to jump. Seeing this, the crowd and the police officers below start shouting in panic. At that exact moment, Joey triggers the explosion on the terrace. The crowd screams are so loud that no one notices the sound of the blast. Everyone's eyes are focused on Nick. The explosion creates a hole in the terrace, allowing Joey and Angie to go down into the building. Meanwhile, Nick tells Alana that he is very scared and asks if she can give him a cigarette now. Alana hands him one. After taking a single puff, Nick gives it back to her. Because of this, Ilana finally gets Nick's fingerprint from the cigarette. She quickly informs the other officers about it. At the same time, Joey and Angie disable the CCTV cameras in the building so that no footage of them can be recorded. After that, they move further inside. Suddenly, a media helicopter flies very close to Nick, and a strong wind from the helicopter almost causes him to fall. Mike sees this and recognizes Nick. Once the helicopter moves away, things calm down again. But meanwhile, Joey gets stuck at one point inside the building. He has managed to open the safe, but inside there is a heat sensor system. If it activates, everything will turn into ashes. Joey asks Nick what to do. Nick tells him that he needs to use a fire extinguisher and spray it exactly where the sensor is located. Joey follows his instructions, and it works. Now Joey and Angie finally enter the vault. At the same time, Ilana receives Nick's identity details. She discovers that Nick was once a police officer and that he had been accused of stealing $50 million worth of diamonds from the jewelry showroom of a businessman named David, which happens to be in the same building. Nick tells Ilana that David still has the diamonds and also received the insurance money. He asks her to give him some time so he can prove that he is innocent. Ilana decides to trust him. Meanwhile, Mike quickly reaches the building. Nick's senior officer, Dante, tells Mike that they must kill Nick, otherwise the truth will come out in front of everyone. At this moment, it becomes clear that both of them are secretly working with David. Just then a woman arrives with a file, but Mike snatches it from her and goes into another room. He removes some important papers from the file and then takes them to the room where Alana and Jack are already present. This is the same room where Nick is standing outside on the ledge. Seeing Mike suddenly appear there makes Ilana suspicious because he was supposed to be somewhere else. At the same time, Joey and Angie inform Nick that they could not find the Monarch diamond in the vault. Nick tells them to trigger the alarm. As soon as the alarm goes off, David arrives with his men. It is revealed that David had created a secret hidden safe, and inside it the Monarch diamond is still there. This proves that Nick was telling the truth. Meanwhile, Mike forces Alana and Jack out of the room and locks the door. He begins talking to Nick and says that he no longer trusts him at all because Nick betrayed him and he doesn't talk to traitors. But the real reason Mike wants Nick to come down is because he knows that if Nick reveals the truth publicly, everyone involved will be exposed. During their conversation, a police tactical team arrives and tries to capture Nick. Nick quickly moves away and escapes by breaking the window and jumping inside the room, finally entering the building. At the same time, David takes the diamond to his private vault and is about to store it in a safe. Suddenly, Joey and Angie point guns at him, steal the diamond bag, and lock David inside his own vault. After coming downstairs, they hand the bag of diamonds to an old man. This old man is the same person who earlier delivered food to Nick's hotel room. After giving him the diamonds, Joey and Angie leave the building. But David manages to call Dante and tells him that someone has stolen the diamonds and orders him to catch them as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Nick is still running inside the building when he suddenly meets the old man, who gives him the bag of diamonds and tells him to go back upstairs. At the same time, Joey is about to escape the building, but Dante catches him and begins beating him brutally. Nick returns to the room again and climbs back out onto the ledge outside the window. The crowd below notices him again and starts recording videos. When David sees the footage, he immediately realizes that Nick is still there and informs Dante. Dante, who is beating Joey, hears this and rushes to the terrace, dragging Joey along with him. Joey is badly injured. Ilana tries to stop Dante, but he orders her to go downstairs. She refuses, but the officers force her away and send her down. After that, David arrives on the terrace, snatches the diamond bag from Nick, and tells him that once again Nick has lost, but this time he won't survive. After David leaves, Dante threatens Nick. He tells Nick that he must jump off the building, otherwise he will push Joey off the terrace himself. Nick slowly moves toward the edge of the building. Just then Mike arrives on the terrace, but Dante immediately starts shooting at him. Mike gets seriously injured. Before dying, Mike apologizes to Nick and admits that he was the one who helped frame him. Dante is about to kill Nick, but at that moment Alana arrives and shoots Dante, stopping him. Meanwhile, David is trying to escape with the diamonds. Seeing this, Nick suddenly jumps off the building. Everyone watching from below is shocked, thinking he has committed suicide. But Nick safely lands on a large safety cushion placed below and immediately runs toward David. Nick catches David and snatches the diamonds from him. He loudly tells everyone that David was the one who had the diamonds all along and that David framed him, which is why Nick had been sentenced to 25 years in prison. The media is already there, and everyone records Nick's statement. Soon the police arrest both David and Nick, but after a few days Nick is released because the truth finally comes out. Later, Alana comes to meet Nick, and the two of them go to a bar together. At the same bar stands the old man who earlier gave Nick the bag of diamonds. It is then revealed that the old man is actually Nick's father, who is still alive and secretly helped him the whole time in order to clear his name. At the same time, Joey proposes to Angie, asking her to marry him. And with that, the story finally comes to an end.